Hi, we are on the South Bank near the Millennium Wheel, and I am with Graham Jones. Graham and Sally Jones have been in Kenya for a number of years, and I've got a chance to interview him about being in Kenya and those kind of things. So, Graham, can you tell us a little bit about moving to Africa and what it was like?
Yeah, we moved in January 2006 to Kisumu in Kenya, involved in the ministry of training church leaders and their wives. I was the pastor at Guildford Park. We felt God was calling and leading us, and the church agreed, and GBM too. And so you try and disengage from England. Very sad to leave the church and the people. Very excited to go to a new place.
Yeah.
And you don't realise how strange and different the new place is. I remember we'd been there about a week, and now we were going to bed one night. They had a mattress on the floor, and just the whole range of African noises and sounds and smells, and you can suddenly realise this is different.
Yeah. What would be your top tips for moving country, particularly as a missionary?
It's good to prepare as well as you can. Talk to people, get to know that country. Language could become a significant feature depending which country you're going to, and so learning some of that for the first couple of years would be valuable. Trying to understand as much as you can, but then realise that when you get there, what you have done is only the beginning. It's like being on the first rung of the ladder.
Yes.
And there's so much to learn and to get to grips with over the next few years.
Tell us a little bit about your work, what you do day to day when you're in Kenya. So
our work in and around Kisumu in Western Kenya is encouraging and training church leaders and their wives. So 80-90% is with a group of Reformed Baptist churches. The guys have had training in Nairobi, and we're doing finishing school in local church.
Okay.
So we visit them, we go and preach. I go and preach in their churches, run pastors' fraternals, do training for different events. Sally does things for pastors' wives, Sunday school teachers, women's workers.
Yeah.
That's the main thing that we do. A lot of visiting, a lot of people contact.
What's particularly different about teaching African pastors and their wives compared to church work in the UK?
I think one of the big, the openness in Africa is great. There's an openness evangelistically. You just have to open a Bible and people will gather round. And so evangelistically our churches are very good, and the opportunity, and so that's a great way of encouraging them. But in terms of training, they haven't had the opportunities, and they don't have the resources that we have.
Yeah.
And so you keep going back to the Bible time and time again. It's been lovely having to learn to teach the Bible in a different context. Different issues, story, narrative, Old Testament, so much more significant. That's a real challenge, and that stimulates me and my Christian life.
You're back in the UK for 3 weeks or so. Are there particular things we can be praying for you at the moment?
Yeah, at the moment we're back because Kenya is having a rerun of the presidential elections, and our town's an opposition town, so it kind of erupts into protests a lot of the time. So pray that the Kenya elections will take place and that they'll get some good leaders who can help run the country, and there'll be peace. People accept the next phase for Kenya. In terms of the pastors, that God will continue to help them to do their work, serving Him, and help us to, when we get back, to pick up where we've left off. And we're teaching different courses in November through to Christmas, that God will help us in that.
Great. Thanks very much. Graham and Sally will be at the GBM annual meetings on Saturday, so will we. So if you're there, we'll see you there.
Thank you.